Money. Wait. I gotta poop. Damn it. I'm gonna have to pause my live stream because I have to go poop, and I'm not gonna take the phone with me because it's like 20 degrees outside. So yeah, I'm gonna go poop. I'll be right back. Forgot to unmute. I wanted to watch the Candace Owens Fort Huachuca live space, but I guess I can't do that. It's not available for iPad yet. I don't understand why iPad and iPhone are different. Like, why?
In the tall grass of South America struts a walking enigma, long-legged, flame-colored, and always alone but never lonely. It looks the part of a dog from hell. It looks like a fox, walks like a deer, and of course howls like a banshee from your worst nightmare. This isn't the furry version of Slender Man. It's a very real canid. This is the maned wolf. Hey, I'm Danielle Dufault, and you're watching Animal Logic. Today, we're getting to know one of the strangest and most misunderstood canids on Earth, the maned wolf. Despite the name, the maned wolf isn't a wolf at all. In fact, it isn't closely related to wolves, foxes, or coyotes. Maned wolves are part of a group called the South American canines, also sometimes known as the fox-shaped canines. The word shaped does a lot of heavy lifting there because these canines are not foxes. They just convergently evolved to look similar based on catching similar prey. But out of all the South American canines, two species stood out for being a little weird. The bush dog, an Amazonian canine that looks like a teddy bear weasel, and the maned wolf, which looks like this. Of course, their habitat and their prey determine what the optimal predator looks like, but maned wolves don't look like anything else on Earth. So why did they get so weird? Their body plan was shaped by South America's open savannas. The ancestors of the maned wolf became specialists in hunting in tall grass. As the grass grew taller, the maned wolf's legs grew with it, turning it into a creature from a Salvador Dali painting. Maned wolves are about 1 meter tall at the neck, but weigh only about 35 kilograms. That means that they're as tall as a jaguar, but the jaguar is 4 times heavier. Longer legs meant a clearer view of the horizon and an easier stride through thick brush. its body slimmed into a narrow, almost delicate frame. Watching their slender, lean bodies stalk across the plains, you'd think fashion models evolved on the South American savanna too. So let's cut to the chase. What is a maned wolf, and what's their deal? Maned wolves are mostly nocturnal, stepping out at dusk to wander miles of open grassland on their long, stilt-like legs, built for peering over tall savanna grass. They hunt with a slow, deliberate gait, using their gigantic ears to listen for the rustle of prey on the ground. When they hear something, they freeze, then pounce, very much like a fox. Their most common prey are small mammals, but they're true generalists and will eat anything they can catch. But since they're so light, they avoid larger animals. So tapetes, mice, and tinamous are on the menu. But capybaras, deer, and peccaries are likely too dangerous for the maned wolf to pounce on. Besides their natural food, there's a hot new item on their menu, which unfortunately has made them some enemies. They love chicken. Maned wolves are opportunistic hunters, and free-roaming domestic chickens are an easy prey. But hunting them is an easy way to enrage farmers. We spoke with one of Brazil's top maned wolf experts, so he can tell us how building chicken coops is helping maned wolves stay safe.
So we build more than 200 chicken coops in particular areas where we've checked that conflict is very high, and the chicken coops tend to be very effective. The wolves don't eat the chicken anymore because there's the tradition of raising the chicken at free range, so they're very accessible. So we interrupt the access to the chicken, and then everybody's happy. They tend to improve their relationship and the perception towards the wolves, and start living together, coexisting with the wolves.
Lack of environmental protections, urban development, and global climate change are constantly affecting maned wolf populations. Protecting them and other endangered species from all
I
over
already
the
got
world
better at knitting,
requires
FYI.
both awareness and legal challenges to bad laws. Here at Animalogic,
I leveled
we
up a little
support
bit.
all the groups that are fighting to protect wildlife, like the nonprofit Earth Justice. Earth Justice is an environmental law organization that goes to court to protect wildlife, frontline communities, and our climate. At a time when governments all over the world are prioritizing short-term profits over the long-term health of our ecosystems, Earth Justice is holding them accountable in court and winning. Over the past few years, they have helped protect California sea otters from being removed from some of their habitat, fought to clean up rivers from chemicals that are toxic to salmon, and protected grizzly bear habitats in Montana from road construction. And in the last 9 months, they've sued the administration over a dozen times to protect clean air and water, our climate, and the wild spaces we love. Earth Justice represents their clients free of charge, so they need your support. From now until December 31st, they are matching every donation, which means your support will go even further. Together, as a wildlife-loving community, the most effective way to support Earth Justice's critical work is by becoming a donor. What they raise right now will help determine
Give us money! Don't give us your time. Don't donate food for animals. Don't donate space. Don't donate wood or anything that could help us build. Just give us money! Money, 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 money! Money, 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 money.
A whole lot of fruit. This is another feature of South American canines. They're more omnivorous than canines anywhere else on Earth. The only canine that gets close to the South American omnivores is the Japanese tanuki, or raccoon dog, a trash panda lookalike who can eat berries and
Are you eating your mother's food?
its diet of small mammals and reptiles. But even among their cousins, maned wolves hold a record for the canine with the fruitiest breath. There's even one
Sorry,
special
no,
plant
that was me. I'm
that
wrong.
grows so closely
I
to
switched
the
you guys
maned
around.
that they named it after it. The
Sorry,
Subliminal
baby,
Locks
that was my
is
fault.
commonly called the wolf plant, and its fruit is is nicknamed the wolf apple in English because maned wolves chow down on it so frequently. The relationship between plant and animal is mutually beneficial. The wolves spread the plant seeds through their scat, a key part of the plant's survival. Studies even show that the seeds germinate more successfully after passing through the wolf's digestive system, meaning the plant literally relies on the wolf to keep its species alive. One of the best places to see this dog-eat-fruit behavior is on safari. This is an organization that supports maned wolf conservation and research, in part through ecotourism. We talked to one of their researchers, our friend Maju Stenberger, who gave us the literal inside scoop.
So it looks like a hard tomato with less water. So it has water, but it's not so squishy like tomato, is more hard.
When folks think about South American fauna, most people
A
think
boot.
about the Amazon and the Andes, but our leggy friend prefers the flatter and drier part of the continent. This place is called the Cerrado. It's the richest savanna in the world,
The table,
housing over
the door.
11,000 plant species, 200 mammals, and nearly 1,000 species of birds. It's a landscape of open grasslands, twisted trees, and red
Cerrado.
earth.
That
In the
means
rainy
closed.
season, the fields burst with wildflowers
Abierto.
and fruiting shrubs. In the
Cerrado.
dry months, fires sweep through, clearing space.
The saw. Cerrada. Yeah, so I was right. With a C, let's see, is it C or is it S? C, so yes, it's closed. The finished, the closed, the ended.
For new life to grow. The maned wolf is the undisputed icon of the Cerrado. But this is such an amazing ecosystem that we should take a moment to see some of its most amazing species. The maned wolf grew tall to become the overseer of the grasslands, but there were other evolutionary strategies. The pampas cat, small and silent, went with
That's not a
stealth over
pampas
height,
cat.
laying low and blending into the golden plains instead of standing above them. The greater Rhea, the continent's flightless giant, took the speed route. Fast, tall, and alert, it outruns trouble rather than hiding from it. The marsh deer, South America's largest deer, has its own version of stilts, much like our maned wolves, to wade through flooded grasslands. Even its coloration
I wanna
is similar
look!
to the maned wolf. These two tall cuties convergently evolved to be a similar color as dry grass and to have darker legs, similar to the shade inside the patches of grass. Their landscape makes for the perfect game of hide and seek. The maned wolf has evolved to be almost invisible to paranoid rodents. So how do experts find them and monitor them?
To understand their movements throughout this changing world and checking the health, monitoring their health, we do the capture from time to time. We try to capture the same animals like at least once in a year, and this brings lots of information. And upon the capture, we sedate and anesthetize them, and then we draw the blood. We do all the examinations. We put a ear tag and a radio collar, and that's very important to see like the territory that they have, the crossings through the roads, so to see where we do need to
Sound like you're
some
scratching.
bumps or speed traps, like a underpass. So all this are strategies to avoid the car collisions. So collars will direct us to several conservation strategies.
When the maned wolves are in the open field, sometimes we are able to see what they are doing. Once they get inside the shrubs, we cannot see them anymore. They are very elusive because of that as well. And with the thermal drones, we can see what's happening there. With the thermal drones, always respecting the mother, the maned wolf's breeding cycle, and always waiting for the right moment, but flying from a high altitude, when the pups are a little bit bigger and start to walk around through the grass, we can see them moving and we can know how many were born, for example.
They've even captured a bit of comedy as well.
We can see maned wolves running from rheas. So maned wolves usually they predate smaller prey. Armadillos, we see them, they love cavies, but in 2022 we saw a maned wolf predating a greater rhea. We have seen greater rheas following and being very mad with the maned wolves, running.
You'd think that an animal with a name like the maned wolf would be a ferocious fighter, like it was the lion among wolves. But this canid is not only a fruit lover, but also a tree hugger. They rarely fight, even with other maned wolves. If they feel threatened, they usually freeze, retreat, or at most, raise the dark mane along their neck to look bigger and make their attacker retreat. Kind of like saying, hey man, chill out. I don't want to mess up my beautiful mane by beating you up, but it's all a bluff. Those ears are a reminder that they're more of a listener than a biter. And they're built for the peaceful life of a hermit rather than the never-ending group politics of other canids. This hippie vibe extends to their romantic life. They practice facultative monogamy, which means that they find a mate, they form long-term partnerships, without spending much time together. Mated pairs share overlapping territories, but they keep in touch mostly through scent marks and those eerie roar barks rather than face-to-face meetups. And just like a radio tower, the higher your signal is, the farther it travels. In the maned wolf's case, their towers are insect homes.
I think another very interesting behavior is how they use termite mounds as a toilet. It's impressive how with those long and that huge body, they climb on top of termites, not small termites, big mounds. They climb on top of it and there they leave their marks, strong smell marks, to tell all the other maned wolves that they are the owners of this territory. They search for these places, higher places, to poop or to pee, so the smell will travel longer distances, and the other wolves from the surrounding territories will know that these territories belongs to a specific.
Yep, that's just what I wanted to see, is a wolf
toilet with
shitting.
view. And what they lose in privacy, they gain in
This wolf is
reach.
shitting on top of a
They come
termite
together in
mound.
their brief breeding window about once a year.
They don't dig, then they build like a nest on the grass.
After the pups are born, childcare is shared. The female nurses and shelters the kids, and the male brings her food and protects the territory. They're trad wolves co-parenting adorable little puppies. Aw, they're all ears.
They are born in the beginning, in the middle of the dry season, when it's very, very dry. There is a lack of water, a lack of food, and that's when the mother stays with the hard work, nursing them. And when the pups, they are a little bit bigger, they start to explore the surrounding areas. It's the time that the rain starts. And it's beautiful to see that, because the pups, they start to eat different fruits that are only available in the rainy season. And there is more water available to them, other prey is available as well. And it's beautiful to see this change in their behavior related to the seasons living here.
Honestly, sounds like a pretty good deal for a solitary hunter, but that same independence that defines maned wolves also leaves them exposed. The maned wolf once thrived across wide ranges of South America's grasslands, but today they're being pushed out of huge parts of their historical habitat. With habitats shrinking and dividing, finding a partner is getting harder. Most of the
Hello,
landscape
hello,
they
I'm
call
good.
home is
Just
being
kind of
carved
farting
up by
around.
farms, highways, and urban centers. The isolated groups of maned wolves are often scattered. That's why scientists and conservationists across South America are racing to reconnect the fragmented wild. Saving the maned wolf isn't just about protecting one species. It's about protecting an entire ecosystem. Remember, these wolves are green-thumbed gardeners of the Cerrado. Wherever they walk, new seeds take root. If they vanish in time.
Hi, this is Ellen from the Chili Dog. Today I'll be demonstrating an interesting method called combination knitting and tell you 4 reasons why you might want to give it a try. It doesn't matter if you're an English knitter or a continental knitter, combination knitting works for both styles. So let's knit a few stitches on some basic 2x2 ribbing and look at how our stitches are formed. Conventionally, most knitters are Western knitters, even though they may not know it. This method has to do with how we form our stitches, not how we hold our yarn. Western knitters wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the right needle. So when I'm knitting, I typically control my working yarn with my right hand. When I make a knit stitch, the knitting needle goes through the loop knitwise, and I wrap the yarn counterclockwise.
I'm literally hurting. Too hot. My breasts do not like touching my skin. Anywhere my skin touches itself, it fucking hates that. Like, I'm blessed to not be morbidly overweight. A little bit of sweat starts, then itching. Not interested. I'm dirty right now. I need to take a shower, and I'm gonna take a shower today, but
And then
right now I'm dirty.
pull it through the loop.
Also have to do laundry,
Again, insert the needle knitwise, wrap the yarn counterclockwise.
so I'm not interested in my
and pull it
boob
through.
sweat driving
When
me
I'm
nuts.
making purl stitches, I still wrap counterclockwise. I insert the needle purlwise, wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the needle, and pull it through the loop. Again, insert the needle purlwise, wrap counterclockwise around the needle, and pull it through. Some people prefer to hold the yarn and control it with their left hand, but they still typically wrap the yarn around the needle counterclockwise. So in this case, they would insert the needle knitwise, the yarn again gets wrapped counterclockwise around the needle, and then pulled through the loop, insert knitwise, the yarn is going counterclockwise around the needle, and is pulled through the loop. For purl stitches, the needle goes through the loop purlwise. Again, the yarn is still going counterclockwise around the needle, and then is pulled through the loop. Insert the needle purlwise. The yarn is going around the needle counterclockwise and pulled through. If you look closely at both the knit and the purl stitches for Western knitters, the stitches form a little V, with the loop of yarn that goes over the top, connecting it. And this right leg of the V is always positioned on the needle so that it's at the front of the needle. The left leg of the V is at the back of the needle. So no matter how you control the yarn in your hand, Western knitters always have the right leading edge of the stitch at the front of the needle and the left or trailing leg of a stitch at the back. So the stitches are mounted on the needle like this. Eastern knitters form their stitches by wrapping the yarn clockwise around the needle. So we'll do a couple.
I feel like I'm
knit
learning
stitches.
how to
This time
judge
the yarn is
what
wrapped
someone's
clockwise
nationality
around the
is, like genetic
Pull
heritage,
through.
like Irish, German, Scottish, whatever.
Again, wrap
By looking at their
clockwise and pull
hands.
through. Or when they purl, again, they wrap the yarn around clockwise and then pull it through. And the yarn is wrapped clockwise.
That was
And
counterclockwise,
pull through.
bitch.
When stitches are formed with the Eastern method, you'll notice that these stitches that are up on my needle are mounted opposite of what we get with the Western style. So this time, the left leg or trailing leg of the stitch is at the front of the needle, and the right or leading leg of the stitch is at the back. So they're mounted backwards of Western style. Combination knitting
All right,
is
I'm
what
gonna go to work.
happens